Emma Miller sat in her old wooden chair checking her students' homework. The 28-year-old teacher had been working at Lincoln Elementary School for 3 years. This school was located in New York's poorest neighborhood, a place nobody cared about. Most students came hungry, there was no heating in winter, books were old, and most pages were torn. But Emma loved these children. She saw the hope in their eyes. Every morning she would arrive early, preparing the classroom with supplies she bought with her own money. She spent most of her salary on her students, sometimes breakfast, sometimes stationery, sometimes just small gifts to make them smile. That morning, Principal Mrs. Patterson entered the classroom. A middle-aged man was with her, simply dressed, modest-looking, carrying cleaning supplies. "Emma, I want you to meet our new volunteer," Mrs. Patterson said, "John Smith. He wants to help the school." The man stepped forward. "Hello, Miss Miller. I'm John. I'd like to help with cleaning and maintenance." Emma looked at him. The man's hands were soft, his voice educated. There was a strange exhaustion in his eyes, as if he was carrying a very heavy burden. "Welcome, John," Emma said with a genuine smile. "We need all kinds of help here." "Thank you," John said. I want the children to be happy." On the first day, John worked quietly. He cleaned the corridors, repaired broken desks, picked up trash in the yard. But when Emma watched him, she noticed that the man's real attention was on the children. During recess, he saw 7-year-old Sarah crying. The girl's shoe was torn. John immediately went to her. "What happened, little miss?" he asked gently. "My shoe is broken," Sarah said. "My mom can't buy a new one." John thought for a moment, then pulled out a small repair kit from his bag. He carefully repaired the shoe. "Look, now it's even better," he said with a smile. Sarah ran joyfully to hug Emma. "Miss Miller, Mr. John fixed my shoe." Emma was surprised. John had a professional repair kit in his bag. This wasn't normal volunteer behavior. As days passed, John's behavior became even more interesting. When children struggled with math problems, he would go to them and show easy solution methods. When they asked questions about physics, he would give university-level explanations. "John," Emma said one day, "you're not just a janitor, are you?" John hesitated. "What do you mean? You're very knowledgeable, as if you've had a very good education." "I used to study," John said vaguely, "but now I just want to work here." Emma didn't believe him, but didn't ask more questions. What mattered was how much John was doing for the children. 2 weeks later, a visitor came to the school. A big black Mercedes stopped in front of the door. A man in an expensive suit got out. There were bodyguards around him. "Daniel Cross is coming," whispered one of the teachers. Emma was surprised. Daniel Cross, one of New York's richest men. Why was he coming to Lincoln Elementary? Mrs. Patterson rushed to greet the man. "Mr. Cross, welcome. It's a great honor to meet with you." Daniel Cross looked around with a cold expression. "Mrs. Patterson, I came to discuss our plans to close this school." "Close it?" Emma's heart stopped. "Yes, this land is very valuable. We're going to build a new shopping mall here." Emma couldn't stand it. She stepped forward. "Sir, where will these children go?" Daniel looked at her coldly. "That's not my problem. They'll go to other schools." "There are no other schools in this area. These children come here hungry. At least here they find a warm place." "Miss Miller, please calm down," Mrs. Patterson said anxiously. But Emma couldn't calm down. "No, these children are more valuable than your money. You can't take their future away." Daniel Cross had never been opposed like this. He was surprised for a moment. Then, with a cold smile, he said, "Young lady, this is a business decision. No need to be emotional." "Emotional?" Emma's eyes blazed. "Children suffer because of heartless people like you." Just then John appeared from the corridor, carrying cleaning supplies, head down. When he saw Daniel Cross, he suddenly stopped. The two men looked at each other. There was a strange silence. I'll handle the cleaning," John said quickly, heading in another direction. Daniel Cross's eyes followed John. There was something familiar about the man. "My decision to close this school is final," Daniel said harshly. "It will be vacated within a month." As he got into his Mercedes and left, Emma's heart was shattered. What would happen to the children? John approached her. "Don't worry, Emma. Everything will be fine." How will it be fine? That man is going to close the school." There was deep pain in John's eyes. Sometimes people realize their mistakes. That night Emma sat at home crying. The news was on television. Billionaire Daniel Cross will build the city's largest shopping mall. Then Daniel Cross's photo appeared on screen. When Emma looked at him, she noticed something. Those eyes. They were like John's eyes. The next morning, Emma went to school early. She had a suspicion in her head. She needed to find John. She found John cleaning in the principal's office, but when she secretly listened from the door, she heard John talking on the phone. "No, I'm not ready yet," John was saying. "Wait a few more days. Yes, I know everyone is curious, but—" Emma entered. John immediately hung up the phone. "Hello, Emma." "John, you need to be honest with me. Who are you?" John rubbed his face with his hands. "Emma, it's a complicated situation." "How complicated can it be? You're not a normal volunteer. Your way of speaking, your knowledge, even that repair kit in your hand, it's all very professional." John paused. "Emma, I'm going to tell you something, but you won't believe me." "Try me." John took a breath. "I'm Daniel Cross." Emma laughed. "Very funny, John. Daniel Cross was here yesterday. He saw you." "No, Emma, the man you saw was a double sent in my place." Emma's smile froze. "What?" "I'm the real Daniel Cross. 3 weeks ago I had plastic surgery on my nose, changed my hair, wore glasses. Nobody recognizes me." "This is impossible." John pulled out his phone. He pressed a few buttons. Daniel Cross's personal assistant number appeared in front of Emma. "Sarah, this is Daniel," John said into the phone. "Yes, cancel the meeting. No, don't send the double anymore. I'll handle it myself." Emma's mouth hung open. But why? Why would you do such a thing?" John sat in a chair. "Because, Emma, I had become a monster." "What do you mean?" 3 weeks ago I tried to talk to my own son for the first time. He's 8 years old. He didn't know me. He asked, 'Who is Daddy?' I answered him, 'A working man.'" Emma's heart clenched. "That night I realized I have billions, but I don't have anything. No love, no family, no happiness, just a cold office and numbers." "So why did you come here?" "Because my son Lucas is in this school." Emma was shocked. "Lucas? Lucas Cross is your son?" "Yes. I never knew him. My ex-wife Sarah started living here after the divorce. They sent Lucas to this school." "But he doesn't know he's your son." "He doesn't know. And I wanted to know him. From a distance. I wanted to understand what it feels like to be a real father." Emma's eyes filled with tears. So I came as a volunteer to my son's school to get to know him. And here," John looked at Emma, "here I lived the most beautiful 3 weeks of my life." "Why?" "Because you taught me to be human, Emma. You showed me things money can't buy. Love, compassion, sacrifice." Emma's heart was racing. "But the school closure plans?" "There never was a plan to close it. I sent the double so people wouldn't look for me. Actually, I wanted to be here. With my son. And with you." "With me?" John stood up. "Emma, I fell in love with you. Not just with your money, but with your heart. You showed me what real wealth is." Emma's hands were trembling. This is very complicated, Daniel. You're a billionaire. I'm a poor teacher." "No, Emma, you're a rich person. Your heart is rich. I, on the other hand, I'm a poor man. Because without love, money is nothing." Just then, children's voices came from the classroom. "Miss Miller! Mr. John!" Lucas came running. "Mr. John, I made you a picture." He had a paper in his hand. 3 figures were drawn on it. "This is you, this is Miss Miller, and this is me. We're like a family." Daniel's eyes filled with tears. His son thought of him as family. But he didn't know who his real father was. "It's very beautiful, Lucas," Daniel said, trying not to let his voice tremble. "Mr. John, will you marry Miss Miller?" Lucas asked with an innocent smile. Emma and Daniel looked at each other. "Lucas, go play in the classroom for a while," Emma said. After the child left, Daniel turned to Emma. "Emma, I don't want to be Daniel Cross anymore. I want to be John. With you, with the children, in this school." "What about your company?" "I'll sell the company. I'll give the money to charities. I'll only take enough money so I can modernize this school." Emma couldn't believe it. "Are you serious?" "I've never been more serious. Emma Miller, will you marry me?" Emma's eyes sparkled. "But Lucas, what will happen when he learns the truth?" "We'll tell him together, slowly. And you? You'll be his mother." Emma hugged Daniel. "Yes," she said. "Yes, I'll marry you." A month later, Lincoln Elementary School had undergone a major transformation. The volunteer called John Smith had made a huge donation to the school. Nobody knew where he got so much money. Classrooms were renovated, new books arrived, free meal service for students began. Emma was amazed, but very happy. "John, where is this money really coming from?" she asked one day. "From my past savings," Daniel said with a smile. "Don't worry, it's legal." But Daniel's real problem was Lucas. How would he tell his son the truth? That evening, Emma, Daniel, and Lucas were alone at school. They were having dinner. "Mr. John," Lucas said, "are you really going to marry Miss Miller?" "Yes, Lucas, if you want to." "Of course I want. You're very good. Just like my father." Daniel's heart clenched. "Lucas, do you remember your father?" "No, my mom says he's very busy. He was a businessman, but she says he didn't love me." "Why do you think he didn't love you?" "Because he never comes to see me. Mom says my father tried to buy love with money. But you're different, Mr. John. You really love me." Daniel's eyes filled with tears. Emma squeezed his hand. "Lucas," Emma said gently, "we're going to tell you something." "What is it, Miss Miller?" Daniel took a breath. "Lucas, I'm your father, Daniel Cross." The child was silent for a moment. Then he shook his head. "No, you're John. My father is a bad man. My mom says so." "Lucas, I was a bad man. But you changed me. You and Miss Miller." Lucas blinked. "Are you really my father?" "Yes, son. And I'm sorry. For leaving you. For being a bad father." Lucas stood up. Daniel didn't know what he would do. Then the little boy hugged him. "Dad, you're John now. I love John, Daddy." Daniel held his son tight. "I love you too, Lucas. I love you so much." "Will Miss Miller be my mom?" Emma smiled. "If you want, yes." "I want. Now we have a real family." 6 months later, Emma and Daniel's wedding was held in the garden of Lincoln Elementary School. It was a simple but very meaningful ceremony. All the students came, other teachers, parents. Emma wore a white dress. It wasn't very fancy, but it was very beautiful. Daniel wore a simple suit. He no longer looked like a billionaire. "Daniel Cross, do you accept Emma Miller as your wife?" asked the officiant. "I do," Daniel said, squeezing Emma's hand. "Emma Miller, do you accept Daniel Cross as your husband?" "I do," Emma said. And Lucas, do you accept them as your family? Lucas stepped forward. I do. They're my mom and dad. Everyone applauded. Emma and Daniel kissed. The wedding dinner was held in the school cafeteria. It wasn't luxurious at all, but it was very cheerful. Children were running around, teachers were laughing. Emma, Daniel said, don't you regret it? You could have lived a billionaire's life. Daniel, Emma said with a smile, I'm already living a billionaire's life, a life full of love. But money, we have money, enough money. Working in this school, helping our students, raising Lucas. This is my wealth. Daniel kissed her. You're right. This is real wealth. That evening, in their home, the small house near the school, the three of them sat together. Lucas was doing his homework, Emma was making tea, and Daniel was helping his son with his homework. Dad, Lucas said, will you tell the other kids at school tomorrow your real identity? No, Lucas. At school I'm John. If people find out I'm Daniel Cross, everything will change. Why? Because people value money, not people. I just want to be John now. Okay, Dad. You're my John Daddy. Emma smiled. Daniel had really changed. No more ego, no arrogance, just love. Daniel, Emma said, what will I tell my students tomorrow? Why I married John? Tell them the truth, that you married for love, not for money. What about the media? What if someone recognizes you? Daniel smiled. Nobody will recognize me, because I'm no longer the old Daniel Cross. I'm a new person.
A year later, Lincoln Elementary School was now one of the city's best schools. Emma had become the director, and Daniel was the school principal. Officially, he still used the name John Smith. The school had new classrooms, a modern laboratory, gymnasium, library, but most importantly, the school had love. Emma was pregnant. The baby was growing in her belly. Lucas was very excited. Mom, will my baby be a boy or a girl? He asked. We don't know yet, Lucas, but it doesn't matter. What matters is raising it with love. I'll be a very good big brother. Daniel watched them. A year ago when he felt empty, now his heart was full of love. Emma, Daniel said, do you think I'll miss my old life? Which old life? Loneliness? Cold office? Loveless marriage? The money, the luxury. Emma hugged him. Daniel, you're living the most luxurious life now, the luxury of love. You're right. But sometimes I wonder, is the media looking for me? Even if they are, it doesn't matter. You're happy here now. That evening, while Daniel was reading the newspaper, he saw a news item. Billionaire Daniel Cross still missing. Police report filed. Daniel closed the newspaper. I'm not missing, he murmured. I found myself. Lucas ran to him. Dad, I have a math test at school tomorrow. Can you help me? Of course, son. Let's study. While Daniel was teaching his son math, Emma watched them. She smiled, stroking the baby in her belly. This family is so beautiful, she said to herself. At night, Daniel and Emma sat in the garden. Lucas was sleeping. Emma, Daniel said, do you think I did the right thing? Leaving the billions and coming here? What do you think? I'm happy. For the first time in my life, real happiness. Then you did the right thing. But the future, when the baby is born, will need money. Emma smiled. Daniel, we're already rich. Love rich. Yes, but practically there's no problem either. We have our salaries from school, we have our home, we have our health. What more do we want? Daniel hugged her. You're right. I just haven't gotten used to it yet. I chased money for years. Now you're chasing love, and you caught it. Did I catch it? Yes. You caught me, you caught Lucas, you caught the students. Now you're a person full of love. Daniel kissed Emma. I love you, Emma. You saved my life. No, Daniel. You saved your own life. I just showed you the way.
5 years later,
Daniel and Emma's life had reached perfect balance. Lincoln Elementary School was now one of the country's most successful schools. Students were getting first place in national exams. But more importantly, they were growing up as happy and confident children. Emma and Daniel now had 3 children. Lucas was 13. Their middle child, Lily, was 4. And baby David was 2. "Dad," Lucas said one day, "why do friends always call you John?" "Because I'm John, son. Daniel Cross is no more." "But your real name is Daniel." "My real name is John now. Daniel Cross was a loveless, cold man. John is a loving father." "I understand, Dad. I like the name John, too." Emma came over to them. "What are you talking about?" "Dad was explaining to me why his name is John." Emma smiled. "Lucas, your father is a very brave man. He left his old life and built a new one, for love." "Mom, are we poor?" "Why do you ask?" "Because other kids' dads drive big cars, live in big houses." Daniel knelt down to his son. "Lucas, being rich isn't about having a big car. Being rich is having a loving family." "So, are we rich?" "We're very rich, son, because we love each other." Lucas smiled. "Then I'm the richest kid in the world." "Yes, you are." That evening, after Emma and Daniel put the children to bed, they sat in the garden. They were looking at the stars. "Daniel," Emma said, "have you ever regretted it?" "What?" "Leaving the billions and coming here?" Daniel smiled. "Emma, I've never been this rich. I had money, but I didn't have life. Now I have life." "Yes, but sometimes practical problems come up. Lily's school supplies, David's baby needs. We handle it, because with love, everything is possible." Emma hugged him. "You really changed, Daniel. You're completely different now." "I love you, Emma. You taught me true wealth." "What is true wealth?" "A home full of love, laughing children, a modest but happy life." Emma smiled. "And you found it." "We found it. We found it together." The stars were shining. The children were sleeping peacefully. Daniel and Emma were holding each other. In their small house, without big money but with big love, they had built a perfect family. Daniel Cross was no more. In his place was John Smith, a loving father, a faithful husband, and the children's hero. And this was what real wealth meant: a family built with love, a modest but happy life, and the courage to listen to your heart. Emma was right. Love couldn't be bought with money. But with love, everything was possible. That night, in their small house, they slept with great happiness. And Daniel Cross's billions could never find the value of John Smith's love, because true wealth was having a rich heart. Don't forget to subscribe to Heart Chronicles channel, because in the most beautiful stories, love always wins, and true wealth is hidden in our hearts. What did this story make you feel? Share with us in the comments.